Wonderful. Thank you very much. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, lovely, lovely friends out there. Thanks very much for joining me. I'm live here on Ask One Radio, Avon Psychic Radio, and Moonstrike TV. This is our show, Zsuzsanna Medium, and I'm your host, Zsuzsanna Hörcsög, and I'm a medium. And I'm talking to you straight from the Midlands in the UK, where it is, the sun is finally here, the summer is finally here, and I know that my garden is looking forward to getting some lovely, lovely showers, I think, overnight. But here we go. That was my weather forecast for my garden. Here we go. So it's good to be back. This is our episode 22. And then if you were here before, sometimes I have guests here, like last week we had Stephanie J. King, and next week I already have wonderful guests lined up. So make sure that you stay tuned in and join me here next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. EST and 8:30 p.m. GMT. So wonderful times to be had here. So what I thought to talk about today, before we have one of our callers, is silence, but not in the sense that I'm inviting you to meditate. That is part of our development. But I just want to share some lovely experiences I have had quite recently when I had two consecutive readings. And what I became present to was silence. And you see, when we start working, after like 10 minutes or 15 minutes in the reading, then I became present to this beautiful space, which I felt was silence. When something like this happens at the beginning of our development as mediums or light workers, we might start questioning ourselves, or we might start questioning the presence of spirit or consciousness, or we might question the presence of the client or the sitter with me. So my experience was actually quite interesting, because if you remember, quite some time ago, I talked to you about it takes three to tango. We need to have all of us being present when we have a reading. So we need you, who is asking the question and who would like to know that your loved ones are well, and giving you all the evidence what they can give you, or healing messages. And then we also need a medium, unless you are yourself a medium and you are able to channel and tune into the higher consciousness. And then we also need consciousness, spirit, which is around us all the time. So for the moment, for this conversation, for this short conversation, I'm just going to divide ourselves in three little groups. So we have the one who is asking the question, one who is facilitating, a medium, and then, of course, consciousness and the knowledge, which is always, the wisdom, which is always available to us. So what happened in these two interesting conversations, that after about 10 or 15 minutes into the conversation, there was this absolutely beautiful silence, And then if I hadn't experienced something like this before, I would have dropped my energy very much onto my mind conversation, my three-dimensional mind conversation, questioning myself, questioning my abilities, questioning the client, questioning everything. But then the beautiful thing is that when something like this happens, the most important thing is to let go of the actual experience, because if I am keeping myself on that frequency of questioning, then nothing is going to come forward. I'm not able to perceive any very, very subtle messages or energies or change of energies around the client or around me or around the whole situation. So what was really, really beautiful was that I know that, out of the three aspects, the sitter, myself, and spirit, I felt that I was ready, because I had been talking by that time, and I know that my mission and my work is completed when I'm talking, and it's not my personal conversation, but then it's consciousness conversation, whatever wants to come forward. So I know it was not my silence. But then what was really fascinating was that the only thing I asked was whose silence it is, whose silence it is. And in the very moment when having asked that question, I became present to not wanting to have any other questions, because there was no need to ask any more questions, because I would have been back to my three-dimensional reality. But then immediately asking the question, so whose silence it is, then allowing the space to be, again, experiencing itself in this beautiful space and love and joy and this very quiet anticipation, then the energy showed me which way I needed to go. So if sometimes, as sitters, as clients, and it happened to me, so that's my own experience as well. And then it happened with clients when I was working, when I'm working with people, that for some reason, we don't want to give away things. We want to hold ourselves back. We don't want the medium to touch upon certain things. We don't want the spirit communicator give us certain things, start talking about certain aspects of our lives. We want to keep it very private to us. So in this way, we are keeping ourselves to ourselves, and we are creating that space and silence and some kind of, what I always feel is a slightly constipated energy, on our physical level, on our emotional and mental level, or even further afield. So when something like this happens, and when consciousness showing me so it's not my silence, but I need to go with a client, then it means that my approach needs to be very, very delicate, So that is the time when I would ask, so I feel, or I wonder whether you would feel in your life right now that you need time and space around you, or maybe you feel that you need to create different boundaries with the people around you. So we need to be very, very delicate in our approach. And then I feel it's important to tell you that I feel that this is where you can feel, where you can be sure that you are talking to a medium, you are talking to a light worker, you are working with somebody who really understands your needs, Because if you have somebody who's directly asking questions, then it is you who need to ask the question, why is the medium or the reader asking questions, So it's a very, very, very delicate approach. Now, before I take the first caller here, I want to say one more very, very delicate, lovely thing, what spirit does, spirit communicators, they do. So when we have a conversation and I feel the silence, and when I ask their questions, so whose silence it is, then once the sitter's conversation and energy is sorted, and if consciousness puts my attention to the spirit conversations, the spirit communicators, then I can become aware that the people who once lived on this earth, maybe they were the ones who needed to have the space. And maybe once they pass, they still don't want to bring forward certain things. They don't want to talk about certain things, even when the sitter is asking about certain aspects of their lives. Or sometimes it happens that there is sadness still, that energy felt from the spirit communicator. So they are holding themselves back. So when asking the question, whose silence it is, it sometimes takes the spirit communicator expressing or starting to express themselves and then showing what they need to show. So it's such a beautiful, beautiful space, because you see, in a reading, sometimes things just go one after each other, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everybody's enjoying, and then there is that easy flow to the reading. But sometimes it could happen that we experience the silence, we experience space, and it is important to experience it, because you might have that within the space, how your situation and how your energy is being approached and dealt with and held by the reader, the medium, or maybe a therapist. We can. It doesn't really matter how we are holding the space, what we are calling ourselves. But then maybe that is the thing. That is the point where you need to experience something. That is maybe the door opening for your own healing, So if it happens to you, that you experience this silence, and then you feel a little bit challenged in the very, very situation, my invitation is, maybe that is what we need to experience. Maybe that is, maybe you got the perfect medium. You got the perfect timing to open the door to your own healing and own source and consciousness to expand and develop. So that is a very, very beautiful experience for all of us, even if you feel it is a little bit, maybe it's not sitting at the beginning, but then just allow it to experience itself. And for me as a medium, the experience is that, yes, sometimes the reading is just flowing by itself, but then when something like this happens, my energy or my conversation is that, I'm just curious. I'm just experiencing this joyful anticipation of curiosity and silence, and so what is happening next? So that is the experience what I'm having when something like this happens. So it's silence experienced by all of us, whether we are here on this earth plane or whether we are in spirit realm. And it is so very, very necessary in our rushing and maybe, well, not maybe, but surely quite chaotic life, what we experience as our existence right now, that we come back to our silence. So if you feel that sometimes it is a little bit too much for you to experience silence in your everyday life, maybe that is what might give you the opening. So my invitation is, just, you don't have to sit for half an hour or hours and meditate and wanting to experience silence and then that energy. But you can start with a few breathing techniques, maybe a minute to take for yourself. So that is my invitation for you to play with silence. So I'm going to go to our first caller, and I can see Margaret in San Antonio, Texas, USA is ready. So Margaret, can you hear me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks very much for joining us here. So, I was talking about silence. So are you a person who enjoys that presence of silence, or you quite into that business in your life?
Say that again, ma'am?
Yes. Are you a person who are quite peaceful, when you experience silence around you, or you would rather make yourself and surrounding quite busy with certain sounds,
I guess like surroundings.
The surrounding, that's absolutely fine. Maybe that is how my hands are showing. Maybe that could be, even before you ask a question, I feel that this is how we are finding the way, and I feel that your energy, if you understand, your energy is quite easily, I'm finding my way, I'm sailing. I feel that you are a person who adapts herself quite easily, and you learned how you adapt yourself to different situations. Would you understand that, please?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to make sure I'm with your energy here, what we are creating here. So would you have, Margaret, a question, or shall I just continue?
What was that again, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Would you have a question, or shall I just continue as I started?
Well, actually, my mom is the one that actually has a question. She just, because I know I got a reading a while back, but she would like to have a reading. She has questions to ask, if that's okay.
Okay, so your mom is sitting next to you, I would imagine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I tell you what, I will endeavor, I will have a go, but what happens, because I started talking to you, I'm linking with your energy, so I will just say things, and then between the two of you, we will sort it out whom it belongs to, because I started working with you. So, but if your mom has a question, I'm listening to the question. Let's see what we are going to make out of this.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening. I'm listening to your question.
Hi, this is Diana. I wanted to ask you about my son, Adam. He's having a lot of trouble with finding himself a good girl.
Okay, so I'm just recapping what I heard.
Ma'am?
Yes, I just want to make sure I hear you clearly. So you are Diane, and you are asking about your son who has a girlfriend, and then you want to make sure that everything is fine with them?
Yes.
That was your question. Okay. Now it's quite interesting, how funny, because I started talking about, different people in spirit when we have different energies coming forward. So right now, our conversation, we are here on this earth plane. And then, I started talking to your daughter, Margaret, and then you have the mother, who's asking about your sons and his girlfriend. So what I need to tell you, one way to approach the conversation is that, of course, that you might be worried, you might have questions whether that girl or that lady is suitable for your son. But greatest honesty, what I feel is that everybody has a point in our life when we need to recognize that those people we really care for, and those people we really love and care about, they have their own decisions, their own choices to make, and then even if you feel that maybe that girl maybe is not the most suitable, or you feel or you sense something is not going in a way how you would like or how normally things go, I really feel that that is a perfect relationship and the perfect opportunity for your son to experience what he needs to experience. If he feels that he is led by the girl, then or maybe he feels that he's at the background of the relationship, he needs to experience that energy, and then he needs to learn his own way out. He needs to learn how he's managing and coping with things within the relationship. Would you understand that? Because I feel that girl over there, I don't know, we've got a few people in this conversation now, that she might be the one who's leading the way, and maybe might be thinking about leading the conversation or the relationship in a way that you would not be entirely happy with or about. Would you understand that, please?
Okay. Because he had a girlfriend, but his girlfriend just about 2 months, right? 2 months ago, she just broke up with him, and the relationship was 3 years and a half. Together, and she came out was saying that she was going to have a baby, and then she just disappeared. And he was going through a lot, and he's been having a lot of bad luck with girls. He's a very respectable gentleman, young. He's my baby, and he respects himself. He respects everybody. But the thing is, some of the girls don't have respect for him.
Yes. You see,
he's so sweet. I'll tell you that. If a girl wants something, he's there for that. But sure. I don't know. It just didn't work out.
Sure. It's good you say this, because that is what I was feeling, that the girl was on a different path, and then leading. So your son was definitely behind. So I was feeling that energy. But you see, if they separated already, you need to take it that your son created or asked for, on a soul level, asked for this relationship to experience. He needed to experience something within that relationship. And then once we learn the lesson, once we get what we need to receive in the relationship, then, people move on, people choose different things. And then, to be honest, I was feeling that the girl was on a way out, on a different path, And then even if your son still feels the energy or feels left behind, or any emotionally feels something, that is what he needs to experience, because I feel that he's going to go through this learning experience. I also want to say that he might recreate this relationship maybe 1 or 2 more times, because he needs to experience something before he steps into his own shoes and really learns to ground himself. And then when he's not happy about something, then he will just start expressing, because right now I feel that he has been holding himself a little bit back, So although I understand that you are worried about your son and then the relationship, we need to understand that he has created it on the soul level. And then just because of this, we need to be grateful and we need to be joyful, because that is his own learning. You know your son very well, and then I feel that on one level he has still not shown himself to the world out there what he is really capable of doing. So for you as a mom, I feel that what spirit is inviting you, just observing. Of course you can give suggestions and guidance, but then once your son is ready to receive and ready to be open to receive those suggestions, then he's not going to follow anyone's advice, because that is his own soul's learning. And to be honest, I'm very grateful and I'm very excited for your son, because I feel that he's there is this chewing through. I need to chew through my own personal conversations. This is what I feel. So I feel that your son will be fine. So your son will move forward, experiencing maybe one or two similar situations before he really steps into his own power, and then you will see a very different son, in front of you. So this is what I can say. I hope I could help you here.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You are very, very welcome to let me know, how everything is happening. You can find me on my links on this page, and then also on my Facebook page, which is Zsuzsanna Medium. So I'm very, very I'm grateful that we could have these conversations. One person and another few people in the family. But then what I really feel is a love. And then how people are caring for each other. So Diane and Margaret, thank you very much for calling in. And then let's see, I have Kelly. So I'd like to catch up with Kelly as well. So Kelly, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much for waiting. You are just so amazing. Now, we've got only a few minutes left. If I don't get to the end of your conversations, make sure that you send me an email, and I'm going to be very happy to continue and finish the conversation for you. So I've got 4 minutes. I'm listening to your question here, please.
Yes, I'm just wondering if my sister's okay.
Your sister, okay. Are we talking about, now I'm going to ask a question, a sister here on this earth or in spirit, please?
In spirit.
In spirit. Would you understand a sister who is younger? I'm feeling a younger energy. So it's either that your sister was younger or more of the out in the world. Would you understand that energy, please?
Yes, she did die young.
Yes. And I also want to say that your sister appears to me shorter, quite playful. Your energies are quite different. She's running after the butterflies and then having lots of ideas, and you are the one who is the grounded, and then in the way how the two of you learned navigating in life, you were always there for each other to help each other. Would you understand that, please?
Yes.
Thank you. She's showing me Rose, a Rose. So it's either her name or somebody's name around the family is Rose, but then that is what she's showing me. And then her energy is more of not a red rose, not a purple rose, but it's more of a pink rose. So I'm feeling this very, very, very delicate energy. Would you also understand some respiratory problems with her, please?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Because she's saying that there were so many things she wanted to tell you, very, very playfully. Sometimes she's saying that sometimes it took her quite a long sentence, a lot of talks, lot of conversations before she could say exactly what she wanted to say, But then she's making me aware that she's very grateful that you were the sister whom she could always turn to, when she needed a very, very heart-to-heart conversation. So she's making us aware that she's very, very grateful. Now what she's showing me that she's on your left side. So you might feel her energy on your left side, because she's showing me great interest in a way how you are leading your life. She's talking about the changes you are preparing for, and also new family members coming into the family, around you. So she's delicately navigating and helping you from the realm where she is, so that you are finding, you continue on that good balanced way, moving forward. Now, would you understand the 5th or the 6th of November as someone's birthday, passing, or celebration, please?
Say that last part again, I'm sorry.
About the 5th or the 6th, around the 5th or the 6th of November, as someone's birthday, passing, or celebration, please.
Actually, yes, there will be.
Yes, because she's talking about before Christmas, and she's saying that, yes, I always enjoy the celebrations, but then I like the other celebrations as well. She's the one who would be, like butterflies and flowers dressing up for a party. This is what she's saying. Her life, she, just one more thing here, Carrie, that you need to know, and then you feel her energy, this very sparkle, that sparkle light energy. And then this is how she's coming forward, like a very delicate fairy, very, very light energy, So this is, she's making you aware that she's very much around you and then just helping you. Sometimes you might feel that, as if somebody's holding my head to look over there, to notice things. This is what she's saying,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Carrie, thank you very much. Thank you very much for contacting us, for calling in, and then for waiting for your turn. I would be very happy to continue to complete your reading. Feel free to send me an email to hello@zsuzannamedium.com. You can find my contact details on the radio site here. And Thank you very much. And apologies, it was just a little short, but I just wanted to talk to you as well. So Carrie, thank you very much. Thanks very much for calling in. Staunton, Virginia, USA. Thank you. So, my lovely friends, thanks very much for being here. Now, this was a very interesting show, all the different things happening. So, one of those conversations. Now, next week, make sure that you are back. Tuesday, it's going to be Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. EST and 8:30 p.m. GMT, because I will have a lovely couple here, spiritual mediums. So make sure that you are here. We continue with readings and wonderful spiritual conversations. So that has been, again, just such fun to be back. And thanks very much for the lovely team behind the screen, bringing everybody together. So thank you very much. I'm sending you lots of love, many, many blessings. Enjoy the sunshine, or dress up warm if you are in the other side or on the other side of the earth, and take care of yourself. Lots of love, many, many blessings. See you next Tuesday. Thank you very much. Thank you.